In the heart of South Dakota, on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, a young boy named Billy Mills was born into a world of struggle. Poverty was everywhere, and opportunities were scarce. Billy, a member of the Oglala Lakota Sioux tribe, grew up surrounded by hardship, but also by stories of resilience and strength from his people. He carried within him the dreams of his ancestors, but life never made it easy for him. As a child, Billy lost his parents at a young age. The pain of loneliness cut deep, and many nights he cried himself to sleep. Yet in those moments of silence, he remembered his father's words, "You can rise above. You are destined for something greater." Those words would echo in Billy's mind for years to come. At school, Billy faced isolation. Because of his Native American roots, he was often mocked and left out. But instead of giving in, he found an escape in running. Running became his way of surviving, his way of dreaming, and his way of proving to the world that he was more than the labels placed upon him. He began to run across the dusty roads of the reservation, barefoot at times, pushing himself harder every day. Each step was not just training, it was an act of defiance, an act of hope, an act of belief. The young boy from Pine Ridge was quietly preparing for a destiny that no one could see coming. When Billy joined the Marines, he carried both pride and responsibility. But deep down, he still battled with doubts. At times, he questioned if he was strong enough, if he was good enough. Yet, when he laced up his shoes and hit the track, something inside him awakened. He began training with relentless dedication, even as others underestimated him. They said he wasn't built to be a champion. They said he couldn't compete with the world's best. But Billy refused to listen. His eyes were set on the biggest stage of all, the Olympic Games. He trained endlessly, morning and night, pouring his heart into every stride. The path was never smooth. Injuries came, rejections came, moments of despair almost broke him. But each time he fell, he remembered his roots, his father's voice, and the people back home who believed in him. Finally, in 1964, Billy Mills qualified for the Tokyo Olympics in the 10,000-meter race. No American had ever won this event. Experts predicted he wouldn't even finish near the top. He was a dark horse, a name many didn't even bother to remember. But Billy carried something stronger than predictions. He carried faith. On the day of the race, the stadium roared with anticipation. The world's best runners lined up at the starting line. Billy Mills stood among them, nervous yet determined. The gun fired, and the race began. Lap after lap, Billy pushed himself to keep pace, though exhaustion started to creep in. His legs burned, his lungs ached, and the voices of doubt tried to pull him back. But with every lap, memories of his childhood flashed before him. The pain, the struggle, the promise to never give up. As the final lap approached, Billy Mills was still behind the leaders. The crowd believed it was over. But inside Billy Mills, a fire erupted. He thought of his father. He thought of his Lakota people. He thought of every child who had ever been told they couldn't dream. And in that moment, he found another gear. He sprinted with everything he had, surging past world champions in the final 100 meters. The stadium gasped in disbelief. Billy Mills crossed the finish line first. Shock covered his face. He could hardly believe it. A Native American boy from Pine Ridge who had faced poverty, loss, and doubt had just achieved the impossible. He became the first and only American to win the Olympic 10,000-meter gold medal. The crowd erupted, announcers screamed, and history was written. As Billy stood on the podium, gold medal around his neck, tears rolled down his cheeks. He wasn't just celebrating victory. He was honoring his roots, his father's words, and his people. That medal wasn't his alone. It belonged to every Native American who had ever been told they couldn't rise above. After the Olympics, Billy Mills used his platform not for fame, but for purpose. He dedicated his life to empowering Native youth, visiting schools, giving hope, and sharing his story. He wrote books, gave speeches, and reminded the world that greatness doesn't come from privilege, it comes from perseverance. It comes from believing when no one else does.
Decades later, Billy Mills remains more than a champion. He is a symbol. A symbol that no matter where you come from, no matter how broken the road, no matter how heavy the burden, you can rise, you can win, you can shock the world. His journey reminds us all, success isn't about being the fastest or the strongest. It's about never giving up. It's about running your race, no matter how impossible it seems. And when you cross your finish line, it won't just be your victory. It will be a victory for everyone who ever believed in you. Billy Mills, from native roots to 10K shock victory. A story of resilience, a story of faith, a story of a man who turned pain into power and silence into the loudest roar in Olympic history. Subscribe our channel for more updates. Thanks.